This next video is going to talk more detail about how the microcontroller reads the status and control the status. We said before that the microcontroller reads the input, takes that information, processes it, and then uses it to control an output. We say that the microcontroller reads the status of an input. When we say the microcontroller reads the status, what are we saying? We're saying that it reads the actual voltage on the pin. Now that voltage, according to the specifications of the microcontroller, can be anywhere between 0 volts and 5 volts. And for the PLC, it can be between 0 volts and 24 volts. However, since the microcontroller is a digital machine, it can only interpret two values, a 0 or a 1. How does it do that? Where every digital system has something called a threshold voltage. A threshold voltage. It is the dividing line between when the microcontroller will see a 0 or will see a 1. For the basic stamp, after testing, I have learned that the threshold voltage for the basic stamp is about 1.5 volts. That means any voltage between 0 and 1.5 will be read as a 0 inside the microcontroller, and any value from 1.5 to 5 will be read as a 1. For the logo, after doing some testing, I've discovered that its threshold voltage is approximately 9.8 volts. What this means is that if the voltage is between 0 and 9.8, the logo will interpret it as a 0. If it's between 9.8 and 24, the logo will interpret it as a 1. That's what we mean by read the status of the voltage. The microcontroller can also control the status of a pin. It can control the status of a pin. Once again, what that means is that the microcontroller can decide what voltage that pin will be. And since the microcontroller is a digital machine, you only has two options: a high voltage or a low voltage. After some experimenting, I've discovered that for the basic stamp, the high voltage is about 4.95 volts when there's nothing connected to it. And the low voltage is about 0 volts when there's nothing connected. Of course, these two numbers will change if I add a load, such as an LED or some other component that takes some current from the microcontroller. Now for the PLC logo, since it's a relay, the output voltage will depend on what power supply is being used for that relay. So that really depends on what you're using to supply your output power. If you're using the 24-volt power supply, then that will be the voltage for high. And the voltage for low will be 0 because the relay will be off and the switch will be open. So to summarize, again, the microcontroller has two fundamental basic controls or options: reading and controlling. You might see another word in the literature or the reading. Another word might be called to write, which is the opposite of read. The next video, I will talk more about the process control loop.